Hi guys, step into a world where danger hides in plain sight, and every moment could be a trap. In this video, we're counting down the top 14 best thriller movies streaming this June 2025 on Prime Video, HBO Max, Tubi, and Hulu. These aren't just thrillers, they're mind games, ticking time bombs, and psychological battles that pull you in and never let go. From intense mysteries to pulse-pounding dramas, these films will keep you second-guessing everything. So sit back, stay sharp, and let's dive into the thrill. Number 14. Calm with Horses. Directed by Nick Rowland, Calm with Horses is a gripping blend of gritty crime drama and quiet character study, set against the stark backdrop of rural Ireland. The story follows Douglas Armstrong, a former boxer now working as an enforcer for a violent, drug-dealing family. Though feared in the streets, Arm is a gentle, conflicted soul struggling to be a better father to his autistic son. As his loyalty to the gang is tested by an order that crosses a moral line, Arm finds himself torn between the life he's entrenched in and the future he wants to build. The film unfolds with a slow, deliberate rhythm, emphasizing internal struggle over explosive action. Cosmo Jarvis delivers a remarkable performance, portraying Arm with raw intensity and heartbreaking vulnerability. Barry Keoghan is electric as Dimpna, the unpredictable cousin who keeps Arm on a dangerous leash, while Liam Alger adds emotional weight as Ursula, the mother of Arm's child who's fighting for something more stable. With its muted color palette, brooding atmosphere, and emotionally charged storytelling, Calm with Horses is a powerful exploration of identity, loyalty, and redemption. Number 13. Backtrack. Directed by Michael Petroni, Backtrack, 2015, is a psychological mystery thriller that blends emotional trauma with supernatural suspense in a quietly unsettling way. Petroni's approach is moody and restrained, creating an atmosphere where grief and guilt blur the line between reality and the paranormal. The story follows Peter Bauer, a psychologist struggling with the recent death of his daughter and the emotional aftermath it left behind. As he returns to work, Peter begins noticing strange patterns in his patients, patterns that make him question his own sanity. When he uncovers a hidden link between them, he's forced to confront buried memories and a long-forgotten tragedy that could hold the key to everything. The film unfolds like a puzzle, slowly revealing its secrets in a way that keeps the tension building throughout. Adrian Brody anchors the film with a subdued, emotionally layered performance as Peter, capturing both vulnerability and a sense of quiet desperation. His portrayal is supported by strong performances from Sam Neill, Robin McLeavy, and Jenny Baird, each adding weight and complexity to the film's eerie world. With its haunting visuals, thoughtful pacing, and emotionally driven mystery, Backtrack offers a satisfying mix of ghost story and psychological drama. Number 12. Magpie. Directed by Sam Yates, Magpie is a taut neo-noir psychological thriller that blends domestic drama with Hitchcockian suspense, delivering a slow-burn narrative steeped in emotional tension. Yates's featured debut crafts a chilly, introspective atmosphere, using stark visuals and reflective imagery to mirror the unraveling psyche of its protagonist. The story centers on Annette, Daisy Ridley, a young mother grappling with postpartum depression and a strained marriage to Ben, Shazad Latif. When their daughter is cast in a film alongside alluring actress Alicia, Matilda Lutz, the couple's fragile dynamic frays further, pulling Annette into a web of emotional and psychological turmoil. The narrative unfolds with careful restraint, prioritizing character depth and subtle tension over fast-paced thrills. Daisy Ridley delivers a tour-de-force performance as Annette, conveying vulnerability and strength with understated precision. Her expressive presence anchors the film, making her journey both relatable and compelling. Shazad Latif is chillingly effective as the self-absorbed Ben, while Matilda Lutz and young Hiba Ahmed add depth to the supporting cast, though their roles feel slightly underexplored. With its moody cinematography, haunting score by Isabel Waller-Bridge, and a focus on emotional stakes, Magpie is a gripping study of betrayal and resilience. It's a film that rewards patient viewers with its layered lead performance and atmospheric dread, though its slow pace and familiar genre elements may not captivate everyone. Perfect for those who savor character-driven thrillers with a psychological edge. Number 11. Public Enemies. Directed by Michael Mann, Public Enemies is a stylish and intense crime thriller that dives into the final chapter of the infamous gangster John Dillinger's life. The story follows John Dillinger, Johnny Depp, a charismatic bank robber whose daring heists and bold escapes make him a national icon and public enemy number one. As the FBI, led by Agent Melvin Purvis, Christian Bale, closes in on Dillinger, a game of cat and mouse unfolds across the Depression-era Midwest. The film weaves together action, character drama, and historical detail, creating a narrative that's as much about myth as it is about man. Johnny Depp gives a controlled, magnetic performance as Dillinger, portraying him not just as a criminal, but as a complex figure of rebellion and tragedy. Christian Bale brings quiet determination to the role of Purvis, and Marion Cotillard adds emotional depth as Billy Frechette, the woman caught between love and danger. Together, the cast grounds the film in human emotion amid its epic scale. Stylish, grounded, and filled with tension, it's a thoughtful crime drama that lingers well beyond its final act. Number 10. The Wasp. Directed by Guillermo Morales, The Wasp, 2025, is a tightly wound psychological thriller adapted from the acclaimed stage play by Morgan Lloyd Malcolm. With its minimalist setting and emotionally charged dialogue, the film explores themes of trauma, revenge, and the buried wounds of childhood. The plot centers on two former school friends, Heather and Carla, who reconnect years after a disturbing past incident drove them apart. What begins as an awkward reunion quickly spirals into something more sinister when Heather presents Carla with a chilling proposition. As the two women circle each other with shifting power dynamics and hidden agendas, the film becomes a slow-burn confrontation where long-suppressed pain is weaponized. Naomi Watts and Ruth Wilson lead the film with sharp, gripping performances. Wilson, in particular, brings a magnetic intensity to her role, delivering every line with a mix of vulnerability and menace. Watts matches her with a portrayal that balances icy control and emotional fragility. Claustrophobic and emotionally charged, The Wasp is a suspenseful, character-driven thriller that thrives on tension rather than spectacle. Number 9. Cellar Door. Directed by Vaughn Stein, Cellar Door, 2024, is a psychological thriller rooted in grief, mystery, and the fear of the unknown. With its restrained tone and emotionally driven atmosphere, the film unfolds like a dark fable, centered not on jump scares, but on the slow unraveling of trust, love, and secrets hidden behind locked doors. The story follows Sarah and John, a couple mourning the loss of a child, who are offered a luxurious home under one unsettling condition. They must never open the cellar door. At first, the strange rule seems like a small price for a fresh start, but as time passes, the sealed door becomes an obsession. What lies behind it? Why the secrecy? The tension grows not from what is seen, but from what is never fully explained, allowing dread to seep in through silence and suggestion. Jordana Brewster delivers a tender, quietly unraveling performance as Sarah, whose grief takes on a haunting edge. Scott Speedman brings understated strength as John, caught between rationality and suspicion. Lawrence Fishburne adds gravitas and unease as Emmett, the enigmatic man who offers the home and the condition with a calm that feels anything but benign. With its moody pacing and eerie restraint, it's a haunting slow burn that lingers in the mind long after it ends. Number 8. Titane. Directed by Julia Ducournau, Titane is a visceral and boundary-pushing body horror thriller that fuses grotesque yet strangely tender storytelling. Winner of the Palme d'Or at Cannes, this film artfully balances extremity with emotional depth, using a surreal premise to explore identity, trauma, and the unexpected shapes love can take. The plot follows Alexia, a young woman who survived a childhood car accident that left her with a titanium plate in her skull and an intense fixation on vehicles. As an adult, she works as a showgirl at motor shows and carries out brutal murders in her wake. When the body count rises and the police close in, Alexia flees and assumes the identity of a missing boy, forging an unlikely bond with his grieving father. Her journey shifts from shocking violence to a fragile exploration of connection. Agathe Roussel delivers a haunting, physically commanding performance as Alexia, embodying both cold control and emotional fragmentation. Vincent Lindon offers thoughtful contrast as the fireman-turned-father figure whose growing compassion anchors the film's second act. With its bold visual style, unsettling body horror, and unexpected tenderness, Titane is not just shocking, it's deeply affecting. Number 7. A Kind of Murder. Directed by Andy Goddard, A Kind of Murder is a stylish 1960s set psychological thriller that channels classic noir intrigue and moral ambiguity. The story follows Walter Stackhouse, a successful architect stuck in a suffocating marriage to the emotionally fragile Clara. When Walter becomes fixated on a real, unsolved murder and befriends the victim's husband, the lines between fascination and guilt begin to blur. As secrets emerge and allegiances shift, Walter finds himself entangled in a dangerous psychological game where suspicion from an overzealous detective grows, and the viewer wonders who's truly at fault. Patrick Wilson brings depth and subtlety to Walter Stackhouse, portraying a man whose calm exterior conceals a restless obsession. He's supported by Jessica Biel as Clara, adding emotional weight to Walter's fractured home life, and Haley Bennett as Ellie, a glamorous distraction who represents temptation and escape. Vincent Kartheiser plays the relentless detective Corby, whose growing intuition heightens the story's suspense. With its artful visuals, slow-burning tension, and an ending that keeps its cards close, A Kind of Murder offers a polished yet unsettling noir experience. Number 6. The Treatment. Directed by Hans Herberts, The Treatment is a dark, atmospheric Belgian crime thriller that delves into the depths of human depravity with relentless intensity. The story follows Inspector Nick Kaffmeyer, a man haunted by his brother's disappearance, who becomes fixated on a chilling new case involving the kidnapping of a young boy. As Nick digs deeper, the investigation dredges up echoes of his own past, blurring the line between duty and vengeance. What starts as a procedural ghost story evolves into something far more harrowing, building tension through emotional stakes and ethical uncertainty. Geert van Rampelberg delivers a compelling lead performance as Nick, capturing the character's haunted determination and simmering rage. Supported by Johan van Asche, the cast brings gritty realism to the film's bleak, brutal world. With its grim tone, minimalist design, and psychological tension, The Treatment is a gut-wrenching journey into trauma and redemption. It's not for the faint of heart, but for fans of Scandinavian noir and emotionally charged mysteries, it offers a powerful and unforgettable experience. Number 5. Civil War. Directed by Alex Garland, Civil War is a haunting and immersive thriller that captures a fractured America on the brink of collapse. With his signature atmospheric style, Garland transforms a war-torn road trip into a psychological portrait of conflict, loyalty, and the quiet cost of survival in a crumbling democracy. The story centers on Lee, a hardened photojournalist traveling with a small group of reporters across a destabilized United States. Their goal is to reach Washington, D.C., to secure an interview with the authoritarian president before the fall of the Capitol. As they journey through devastated cities and tense war zones, the line between observer and participant begins to blur, forcing each character to confront their place in the chaos. The film favors a tense, slow-building pace that puts emotional weight behind each harrowing moment. Kirsten Dunst brings weary resolve and inner turmoil to her role as Lee, a journalist grappling with the cost of documenting violence. Kaylee Spaney offers a quietly powerful counterbalance as a young rookie learning the brutal realities of conflict, while Wagner Moura injects a burst of energy and moral uncertainty as the risk-taking reporter Joel. Visually stark and emotionally resonant, Civil War isn't just a war film. It's a character-driven exploration of how people respond when truth, freedom, and identity are under siege. Number 4. The Silencing. Directed by Robin Pront, The Silencing is a taut, atmospheric thriller that blends rural crime drama with psychological suspense. Pront's direction, complemented by Manuel de Casa's haunting cinematography, leverages the misty woods and isolated landscapes of a wildlife sanctuary to create a sense of creeping dread. The story follows Rayburn Swanson, Nicolás Coster-Waldau, a former hunter turned sanctuary warden haunted by the disappearance of his daughter several years earlier. When the lifeless body of a young girl is discovered, Rayburn joins forces with Sheriff Alice Gustafson, Annabelle Wallace, to track down what appears to be a serial killer stalking the town's outskirts. What begins as a tense search shifts into a dangerous game of cat and mouse, weaving together themes of grief, vengeance, and moral cost. Nicolás Coster-Waldau anchors the film with a performance that balances rugged determination and haunted sorrow. Annabelle Wallace brings steady intensity as the sheriff struggling with her own personal demons and duties. The chemistry between them gives emotional urgency to the narrative, grounding the escalating suspense with real human stakes. The Silencing relies on mood and setting rather than conventional slasher beats. Its deliberate pacing and tension-filled encounters build to unsettling reveals. While some critics found the mystery underdeveloped, others appreciated its restrained tone and strong performances. Number 3. Open Your Eyes. Directed by Alejandro Amenabar, Open Your Eyes is a gripping and surreal psychological thriller that explores memory, identity, and the fragile line between reality and illusion. With a bold and emotionally charged style, Amenabar constructs a narrative that twists perception and asks unsettling questions about what it means to truly live and to dream. The story follows Cesar, a wealthy and charismatic young man who lives a life of pleasure and ease until a tragic car accident leaves him disfigured and emotionally fractured. As Cesar struggles to piece together the events surrounding the accident, his world begins to shift in bizarre and disturbing ways. Faces change, memories collide, and nothing can be trusted, not even his own mind. The film unfolds with calculated ambiguity, drawing the viewer into Cesar's increasingly unstable reality. Eduardo Noriega delivers a layered, emotionally intense performance as Cesar, capturing both his charm and the unraveling vulnerability beneath. Penelope Cruz brings warmth and mystery as Sophia, the woman who may be the key to his unraveling mind, while Najwa Nimri adds a sinister complexity as Nuria, whose presence lingers like a shadow in every scene. Open Your Eyes is more than a thriller. It's a philosophical puzzle that lingers long after the credits. Number 2. Strange Darling. Directed by J.T. Molnar, Strange Darling, 2023, is a stylish and unnerving psychological thriller that plays like a twisted love-hate letter to the slasher genre. Shot on 35mm film by Giovanni Ribisi, the visuals are drenched in bold reds and intermittent neon blues that echo the story's twin themes of passion and violence. The story tracks a dangerous game between two characters known only as the Lady, Willa Fitzgerald, and the Demon, Kyle Gallner. Their uneasy connection begins with a one-night stand in a roadside motel and spirals into a fatal cat-and-mouse chase through the Pacific Northwest. Told in 6 non-linear chapters, the film disorients viewers deliberately, revealing and withholding exactly when needed. Willa Fitzgerald turns in a mesmerizing, electric performance, equally charming and chilling, while Kyle Gallner brings brooding intensity to the role of the Demon. Their dynamic crackles with tension, turning every brief scene into a study of shifting power and raw intent. The supporting roles, including Barbara Hershey and Ed Begley Jr. as eerie woodland hippies, heighten the story's surreal edge. With its fractured storytelling, provocative tone, and razor-sharp atmosphere, Strange Darling is a captivating thriller that defies easy categorization. Strange Darling is a dark, unforgettable ride, best experienced with nothing more than your own eyes to guide you. Casino. Directed by Martin Scorsese, Casino is a dazzling and brutal crime saga that dissects the glitz, greed, and corruption pulsing beneath Las Vegas's glamorous surface. With his signature kinetic style and operatic storytelling, Scorsese crafts a tale of power, betrayal, and inevitable downfall, set against the backdrop of a city built on risk. The film centers on Sam Ace Rothstein, a meticulous oddsmaker chosen by the mob to oversee a thriving casino. Ace brings order and profit, but as his empire grows, cracks begin to form. Enter Nicky Santoro, his volatile childhood friend turned enforcer, and Ginger McKenna, a magnetic hustler who becomes Ace's wife and greatest weakness. As loyalty dissolves and ambition spirals out of control, Ace's empire teeters on the edge of collapse. The story unspools with a measured rise-and-fall rhythm, rich with voiceover narration, flashbacks, and Scorsese's trademark visual flair. Robert De Niro commands the screen as Ace, balancing cold precision with a growing sense of desperation. Joe Pesci is a force of chaos as Nicky, his explosive performance both riveting and terrifying. Sharon Stone delivers a career-defining turn as Ginger, whose beauty and self-destruction become central to the film's emotional gravity. Casino is more than a gangster film. It's a cautionary tale of excess and illusion, layered with moral ambiguity and unforgettable style. It stands as one of Scorsese's boldest achievements, capturing the highs and lows of a world where fortune is fleeting and power always comes at a price.